Alicia Roszko from Vegerasta.com, and today we are going to prepare kimchi. Kimchi is the kind of like the Korean fermented cabbage with carrots, white radish, and it's amazing food, very healing for our immune system, for our digestive system. And today we're going to do a little bit spicy version, and we have all the list of the ingredients. So of course, first of all, we need the Chinese cabbage, this size. If you get this size, you would need to use the whole of it. Then some carrots, probably 2 or 3, ideally, and also some muli, around 250 grams. I'm also going to use some red pepper, but this I have very large red pepper, so I'm just going to use half of it, with 1 banana shallot. And I'm going to add some radish as well as the goji berries for the additional sweetness, a tiny bit of red chili pepper. And in order to promote the digestive health, I'm going to also use some arami seaweed, so we're gonna use some of it. And I will add the links to all the products that I'm using at the bottom of this video. And then for the sauce, we have the list of ingredients here. We have our ingredients here, but we definitely need a spring onion, around 20 grams of garlic. So this 3 cloves, this size would be perfect. Around 20 grams of ginger that you need to peel first. And also a 1/4 cup of tamari sauce, some sea salt, around half a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of coconut sugar, 1 teaspoon of white pepper, and optional is also the sesame oil. But it really gives that kind of like the oriental taste, and ideally you should have the toasted sesame oil, but I'm going to use just the organic sesame oil, which is not toasted, which is basically unrefined and cold pressed. And I'm going to use 2 tablespoons, and also 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil and 1/4 cup of water. So first of all, we're gonna start from chopping our cabbage. We're gonna cut the hard part first and then cut it in half. And here my suggestion is that, of course, you want the crunchiness to be even in your kimchi salad. So the hard bits you need to try to cut very thin, and once you are moving towards the soft bits, you can cut them slightly bigger. So that technique basically will ensure you that the crunchiness in your salad is the same. So I'm gonna cut it first. And I'm just gonna move it to the bowl where we're gonna mix all the ingredients in a second. And again, very thin slices here. Kimchi has lots of healing properties. So of course, as any fermented food, it's very beneficial for our gut bacteria, for healing any digestive issues. And today I love spicy kimchi, but if you don't like spicy food, it's not the requirement that you use chili or anything like that. You can even, if you are very sensitive to heat, you can also decrease the amount of garlic and ginger. So it's really up to you, and it's worth experimenting and trying to do it a little bit different every time. So now we're gonna chop the mooli. So I'm going to cut it in half first, and then in quarters, and then I will slice it. During the fermentation process, they will get softer, so I'm going to slice them quite thinly, and depending on how long you ferment them, the salad will get softer as well. The salad, once it's ready, and you put it in the, once we mix all the ingredients and you put them in the warm place, it can be ready in as little as just 48 hours. So it's amazing fast salad that you can then add to your veggies, use all over your pizza. You can even blend it all with a little bit of water, and you have amazing, very warming raw soup that is basically delicious for this time at this time of the year. So let's just finish chopping this. Okay, and now we will do the carrots, which again I usually slice them. Okay, so we have the carrots ready. As you can see, they are very thin slices, so I'm gonna transfer them to the bowl. And now we will add the goji berries, and of course goji berries are very dry, but when we mix them with the sauce, they will soften. I'm going to chop the shallot, so we don't want it to be sliced because we want the flavor to be even. So we're gonna chop them. Yeah, so shallots are ready. So again, I chop them quite thinly, and I'm going to move them to the bowl. And right now we're gonna do the chili. As I mentioned earlier, you don't really need to add chili if you are very heat sensitive. But I'm going to add some. However, I'm going to deseed them. And the best way to do it, when you chop the end, you just roll them in between your palms, and the seeds should come out. Yeah. Oh my goodness, the shallots, they were so strong. So now I'm going to chop it very thinly, because of course I don't want the heat of the chili to overtake just some parts of the kimchi, and I just want the tiny bits of them to be present, here and there, because of course it's not about being very spicy. It's important that you enjoy it, and it's not overtaking all the other flavors. And the next part will be the bell pepper, red bell pepper. And if I had the small one, I would probably use all of it. But the one that I have here is huge, so I'm just going to use half of it. Probably even the smaller part. So of course we're gonna deseed it. Remove the seeds, all the inner bits. And I'm going to slice it in very thin slice. So they should be as thin like this. Very thin. And we just want some accents of the red bell peppers. Again, kimchi is more about the cabbage, it's about the spices, it's about the carrots, and we don't really want, you know, other vegetables that we use to overtake the flavors. Now we will migrate it to the bowl. And now we're gonna add a few radishes. So I'm going to slice them thinly again. Right, so we have the radishes ready. So again, we transfer them to the bowl. And the last ingredient that is going to kimchi is our arami seaweed, wakame. It's wakame, sorry. So I'm going to strain it a little bit. You normally buy of course, them dry, and once you soak them, of course they are getting much bigger. I'm gonna squeeze them a little bit. And now I'm going to use just some of them and chop them, and we will mix them with the kimchi. They don't need to be too small. I think that's gonna be enough. Actually, I will add a little bit more. Seaweed is really beneficial for our digestive health, so it will aid the amazing healing properties of kimchi, and also it's the amazing food for the heavy metal detoxification. So we should be really consuming seaweed every single day. And now we're gonna do the sauce. So the ingredients for the sauce are very, very simple. Basically, we're gonna use the spring onion, around 20 grams. So I'm just going to chop the ends. And spring onion, 20 grams of garlic, but you can use less if you don't want it to be too spicy. Some ginger, so I'm gonna slice it so it's a bit easier to process. Actually, maybe even chop it roughly. Now we're gonna use the 1/4 cup of water, but we will see how it's being processed, and we may use a little bit more. 1.5 tablespoon of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of coconut sugar, also 1/2 tablespoon of sea salt, 1 teaspoon of the white pepper, and also the 1/4 cup of the tamari sauce. I'm using the Clear Spring organic tamari sauce. No, it's not gonna work. Okay. So 1/4. Ensure that when you are buying any soya products that they are GMO free and organic. And I find Clear Spring products the best, really. So still a little bit more. So we're gonna use the 1/4 cup. And also 2 tablespoons of the sesame oil. I have 1 teaspoon here, so I'm gonna use 4 of those. And sesame oil, ideally it should be toasted, but I have the cold pressed organic sesame oil. So of course we see how it's gonna be, if it's going to process without any issues. We shouldn't have any problems, but we may also easily add a little bit more water, because we have quite large quantity here. And half a quarter cup of water is usually the starting point. And if you see that basically your kimchi salad is too dry, you should add more water. So let's process it. Right, so right now it looks very, very smooth. So we're gonna pour it into the bowl. That's the kind of the consistency that you are looking for. So it's very, very watery, I would say, but we need to remember that there is the quantity of all those ingredients here is quite large, and it must be enough, of course, to cover it all. So we're gonna pour it over our kimchi salad. And I'm just going to put it here, just in case I need to use and add a little bit more water later on. A very important thing to remember is the probiotic. So for this quantity, you would just need 1 capsule. So it's very important for the fermentation. So you take just 1 capsule and you open it. And just sprinkle over your salad, and we're gonna mix it. Right, so we are mixing our kimchi, and in the meantime I decided to actually add another cup of water into the Vitamix. So basically I clean the bowl, I clean the Vitamix and the walls, everything with that. I'm not sure if we are going to use the entire quarter of cup, but I will start adding a little bit more, because right now our salad is basically covered in our sauce, but it should be a little bit more. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit and mix it once again. You can also squeeze it. It will help in the fermentation later on. Yeah, I think that's gonna be fine. Yeah, we can see the sauce here at the bottom, so that basically tells us that we've got enough. And now, instead of moving it into the jars, I'm going to use the Korean, original Korean onji, which is kind of like the amazing dish for container, designed specifically for product fermentation. And as you know, in Korea, in Japan, in China, the fermented products are very, very popular. And kimchi comes from Korea. So what is amazing about this container is that it is made from the natural ingredients. That's basically just the sand and clay, and inside it has the very uneven and porous structure. So basically it helps the fermentation gases to actually move around, and it aids the fermentation process. So right now we're gonna transfer our kimchi into the onji. So I'm going to move it all, and once we finish, your kimchi salad should be kept in the warm place for at least 24, I would say, hours, because the fermentation process pretty much will start immediately thanks to the probiotics that we added to the salad, and basically it speeds up the process. But ideally and usually I keep it in the warm place for 48 to 72 hours, and you can keep it longer and ferment it for a little bit longer. The one thing to remember is that during the fermentation, all the crunchy vegetables such as mooli or carrots, they will become much softer, and if you want to stop the fermentation, you need to store it in the fridge. So I'm going to actually squeeze it a little bit. And now the last bit, we've got the sauce left here, and it's very important. That's why I decided to add a little bit more water. The sauce is very important, so I'm going to move it all here along with the carrots. I'm going to squeeze it a little bit more, and once you squeeze it, you will notice that basically the sauce is literally covering your kimchi. So right now it is all ready. We can cover it and move it into the warm place, and within 24, 48 or 72 hours, depending on how long you want to ferment it, your kimchi will be ready, and you can use it over even over your pizza. You can add it to your Buddha bowls, you can add it to your vegetables, you can make the soup out of it. It's so versatile and so healthy that we really should consume it on a daily basis. So thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the recipe, and I'm really looking forward to your comments and questions below. Thank you. And now, after 48 hours, our kimchi is ready. So we're gonna try it. That's how it looks. Over the last 48 hours, I open it and check it twice. And it's very important that basically everything what is on top, it's covered in the liquid. So I just put my hand inside and press it just to ensure that everything is covered, because otherwise the veggies at the top, they may go bad if they are not under the water, under the liquid that we created, that we made for the kimchi. So we're gonna try it, and now because basically it's ready, in order to stop the fermentation, we're going to move it into the fridge, and I will be doing some more fermented products. So of course, what I'm planning to do, I will move the kimchi into the jars, and I will store the jars in the fridge. In the fridge, they can, if unopened, they can even stay as long as up to 6 months, so it's amazing, but I guarantee you that they're not gonna last so long. So let's try our kimchi. I'm going to stir it inside, and we will try it. During the fermentation process, of course, it will start releasing the gases and very strong smell. So don't panic. That's how it should be processing. And that's our kimchi. And now the big try. Oh my god, I think that the jar is actually, it's not going into the fridge. I'm going to have it all today. It's so good. You really, really need to try it.